Everybody, today is Friday, 10:49 a.m. and as promised yesterday in class, I have read and commented on everyone's drafts in Canvas. So please go ahead and read the comments. Make sure that you can see both the comments on the margins of your paper and my summary comments. So don't just go to the gradebook and click on the summary comments. Go to the actual assignment and view the comments that are left on the margins of your paper. Those are the ones that will help you revise better and more efficiently and more thoroughly than just the comments that are left in the summary. Okay, but please do read both sets and act upon those comments. So in this video, I'd like to summarize a few of the key issues related to my response to your drafts for you to think about as you revise. So first of all, as I said in class yesterday, in my comments on your drafts, I used the same handout, this one, that you used in your peer review. And essentially, as I responded, what I was looking for is how well and how effectively each draft identifies and explains some key concepts which can later be used as frames for your analysis. So that's pretty much all I was looking for and all I was looking at. I wasn't looking at structure of your paper quite so much yet. I wasn't looking certainly at grammar and language. I wasn't looking at for any kind of thesis statements, nothing like that. At this point in the project, all we're interested in is how well you can identify and explain to yourself and to your audience and justify the importance of key terms and key frames, rhetorical situation, genre, and discourse community. So that's what I was looking at. That's what I was looking for, and that's what my discussion, my comments on your drafts are mostly about. Okay, so next I want to kind of mention and explain a couple of issues, a couple of questions for us to think about that I saw across a lot of different drafts. Number one, unpack your information. Do not gloss over important things. You have unlimited space. Some of you are trying to define complicated things such as genre, such as discourse community, such as the rhetorical situation in one sentence. That is not going to work. You need to make a case. You need to provide support. You need to not just say something and move on quickly to the next one. You need to explain what you mean. You need to give enough detail, enough information, enough justification for your readers and for yourself in order to make sure that you understand what you're talking about before moving on to the next thing. I made a few suggestions for several of you that will help you do that. Okay, so issue number one, again, to restate, do not rush it. Unpack it, take your time, be deliberate and be thorough and be detailed. Okay. The other thing I want us to begin thinking about is that in academic writing is a conversation. You refer back to your sources, you discuss your sources, you mention your sources, and you use your sources for your purposes. If you think back to Grant Davis' article, for instance, remember how he establishes his exigence by talking back about Bitzer's definition of rhetorical situation and how that's inadequate and he's going to do better now. And he then continues to mention other people, other writings, other ideas explicitly in developing his own arguments. So we need to be doing the same thing. So as you revise, when you think of an idea, let's say you want to explain rhetorical situation, refer back to Grant Davis' article, specific places, page numbers, paragraphs, specific sentences to illustrate what he says and what you say about it. Okay? Academic writing works by connecting new ideas by you, the writer, to existing ideas by other people. That's something we need to focus on as we revise. So that's issue number one. And the third thing I want to mention that I pointed out in some of your comments is begin thinking about whether one of those three concepts, most of you decided to discuss three, all three main ideas, and that's fine: rhetorical situation, discourse community, and genre. Now begin thinking about focusing things a little bit more and thinking whether you really need to pay equal attention to all three, or whether you want to focus on, say, connections of genre and discourse community, or connections of genre and rhetorical situation. So begin to focus your argument a little bit more as you revise. final comment overall. In order to be successful in this project and in any writing project, before you tell anything to your audience, you need to be sure that you, the writer, understand fully what you're talking about. Or come up with some questions that you can explore in your paper. So be deliberate, be detailed, don't try to cover everything. I'd rather you write something that's more narrow but in depth than if you're trying to cover a lot of ground superficially. Okay? So if you think you don't understand the concept, if genre is difficult, if rhetorical situation is difficult, slow down, let's talk about it. Let's talk through this in your writing. Ask questions. Mention details. Talk about specific things in the readings, and you'll be okay. All right. So as I said in class, I'd like you to revise and upload the next version of the draft by Tuesday, and we'll do a little peer review and some other work with it on Tuesday, and we'll see where we can take it from there. Thank you all very much for your work, and as always, please let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.